How do you create something that's different than everyone else? You do it differently than everyone else. Here at Copeland Creative, we specialize in telling captivating stories of wild people, wild things, and wild places. We don't just capture the story, we immerse ourselves in it. We are a diverse, multi-talented media house based in North Georgia, and if you have a story that needs told, we want to help you tell it.
All right, we're back, and I've got Mr.
Luke.
Mine and Luke's first podcast, but first, we got to do the mics.
The Redneck Tech Podcast is brought to you by MikesArchery.com. They're a one-stop shop for virtually everything archery, bow hunting, and for your next outdoor adventure. Mike's Archery has been at the top of the archery game for over 50 years, and they want to give listeners of the Redneck Tech Podcast 10% off their entire online store using the code REDNECK10, all one word. Just put the code in before you check out, and your boys will hook you up. The guys at Mike's have always been good to us, and now they can be good to you too. Visit MikesArchery.com and get your gear now.
Love you guys at Mike's. Appreciate y'all, everything that y'all do. So what Luke and I are going to talk about is two things. We've got some questions that some listeners and Ryer and stuff that we want to talk about. But the first thing I wanted to talk to you about, you've been here, right? Almost a year, correct?
Yeah, coming up on it here pretty quick.
Coming up on a year. So you were telling me earlier when we were downstairs about like how I sent you on the first trip and you're like imposter syndrome, all that. So tell me about that.
Yeah, so I was definitely crapping my pants big time because it was a thing where, you know, you go to school and it's like, I know what I'm doing. And then you get around people that really know what they're doing and you realize that you don't know anything.
The same thing happened to me.
Yeah. And so it was like, I'd been working here for 2 weeks, and I think that nobody had been in the office. It was just me.
Do you remember where we were at? Like when did you start again? Tell me when you started again.
September 1st.
Oh, well, that's probably why. We're always gone September.
Well, that was the run. Clay was in like Utah with Dudley.
Okay.
And then I forget where you were.
Yeah, I don't remember.
I just know that I was in the office by myself for like the first 2 weeks.
What were you working on? Do you remember?
I don't know, Ryer probably made up some project for me to do. I don't remember what it was, to be honest with you. Yeah, I don't remember. It probably didn't turn out that great.
So you were here for 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Here for 2 weeks, and essentially, what happened after that?
Well, I had to go and film with Seek One for the Georgia opener, and it was like, holy cow! Like I'm gonna get to go film Lee Ellis. Like this is crazy. You know, I've watched Seek One for years, and again, I was like, this is terrifying because I'd also never hunted out of a saddle before.
Yeah,
I'd never filmed out of one, never put on a saddle. Nothing.
I still haven't.
I wouldn't recommend it. It's not my favorite.
I'm not a fan.
Yeah, it's hard to beat a good lock on.
Oh god, you dadgum right.
But anyways, so I had to go film with that, and I ended up not filming Lee. I filmed one of the new guys, Alex, which I think was a more of like a gradual transition into it, which was good. I filmed him kill like a 150-inch deer, which was still super cool. It was a great first run for sure. Something good for me to kind of get my feet wet and still film Lee. That's when they were doing all of the introducing the new guys and the door knocking stuff. And so
this is before he had killed the big 200 too, right?
Correct. Yeah, this is before he had killed any of his really big deer. So that same day, he ended up killing that Willie, like the wonky horn,
crazy looking deer. Yeah.
Yeah. So I got to film like the recovery for that and stuff as well, which was cool. Take some pictures and all that fun stuff. But
you didn't think you liked your pictures in the beginning?
No, and I didn't know if you wanted me to bring that up or not.
Oh yeah, that's fine.
Yeah,
I think it's funny.
So I still don't know what happened, to be quite honest with you. But basically, we go to take these recovery pictures of Lee's deer, and I'm taking them. And I was filming in log. Now, first time I had ever put my mirrorless in log.
Yeah.
Had no clue what I was doing. Shouldn't have done it. But anyways, shouldn't have done it.
It's trial by fire around here, man. We've talked about that.
Yeah. And so I go to take these pictures, and it looked like my pictures were being taken in log. Like it was all very muted, didn't look that great. And I tried to explain that to Lee, like take pictures or whatever. I'm like, here, do you want to look at them? Now, mind you, Lee knows I've only been working for Copeland Creative for 2 weeks. And
Yeah.
I think that he can smell the green on me. And he looks at him and like I'm flipping through him and there's no reaction.
Yeah.
Like just straight faced.
Yeah.
And I'm freaking out because I'm like, holy crap, this is Lee
You're
Ellis.
probably reading into this a little too much too.
Yeah,
Though, at the beginning.
looking back on it, I definitely was. But I was like, holy crap, dude, like I'm pooping the bed in front of Lee Ellis. Nobody else from my company is here. I can't call anyone to be like, what do I do? And I'm like freaking, I'm like, dude, I know how to take grip and grin trophy pictures.
Yeah.
In the dark, not an issue. What is happening? And I was, Lee like didn't give me what I thought was going to be a good response. I was like, here, like we'll redo them. He's like, yeah, like let's do that. I took some more pictures, showed them to him, and he was like, I don't know. And I'm really freaking out at this point.
Mhm.
And so he was like, here, try this wide angle lens. And I was like, that's fine. And again, it was kind of like, yeah, that'll do.
Yeah.
Kind of reaction.
Well, and I think too, like, it's hard. It's hard for, I mean, even me with a new client, because you just don't know you don't know what people like. You don't know, and because
Yeah.
everybody's got their own preference, and like Sequan likes things different than Dudley likes things different than Pigman likes things different than, go down the list, but the only way that you learn, the only way that we learn, the only way that you get better is to go and to learn. Now, should one of us probably been with you? Yeah, but I'm sure it was one of those times where we couldn't.
yeah.
We either weren't here or we were already, burning something else down. But I think it's one of those things that I think that needs to happen. And I think that's definitely happened to me 100 times.
Yeah.
It's like you be in the middle of something and it's like, yeah, I don't think they're vibing with what I'm doing right now. But that's when I kind of really lean into getting to know them as people.
Yeah.
And really try and relate to what we're doing and speak the language of big deer and bow hunting and, the things that I am comfortable talking about, and kind of trying to figure out like what's going to make them tick, because I think that's so much more important. I think it's really important to be talented and do a good job,
Yeah.
which I think you for sure are. I have no doubt in my mind. I had no doubt in my mind then. I think you were just very, very nervous.
Yeah.
And you, again, were thrown into the fire. Like, that's just how we do it here. We throw people in the fire.
Yeah. Well, and part of my issue too in that moment was like, if I had something like that now happen where somebody wasn't vibing with my pictures, or like you can just tell that like something's off, I feel like now I have enough confidence built up where I can rely on, hey, like I know what I'm doing. They may not like it now, but they're going to like the end.
Yeah.
product.
Once they see it done.
Correct. And, I can like be content with that. But
Mhm.
in the moment, again, I felt it was very like imposter syndrome.
Well, you get in your
Kind of
head.
stuff,
It's really
yeah.
hard to get out of your own head. And I think that, I've done stuff for people and they just flat out tell me they don't like it. And I'm like, I'm looking at it going, are we looking at the same thing? Cause like, that's pretty dang good.
Yeah.
And then you do something that you're like, that's okay. And they're like, oh my God, that's the greatest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
So you're like, yeah, I'm glad you're happy. So it's tough, man. And that's what I've talked about 1,000 times is the subjectivity of what we do.
Yeah.
Something you like, I might not necessarily like, the thing that Lee Ellis likes, Ryer might not like, and what Ryer likes, I don't like, it's like movie preferences. Like some people like horror movies. I'm not a fan. Some people like stupid comedies, which I think everybody loves stupid comedies, but some people like rom-com. Some people, I like deep dramas that have lots of great acting and lots of stories and character development. Like that's just what I like. I like a deep dive story. Not everybody's into that. They can't wrap their mind around it, or they can't devote that much emotions, I guess, to something.
Yeah.
But that translates over to what we do, because you've got to shoot it, and you got to edit it, and you got to put it out there the way the client wants it. At the same time, fighting your inner demons as to how you want to do it.
Yep.
And 99 times out of 100, you don't get to do it like you would do it, or take the amount of time you want to take to do it right. Because, it's like Pigman. He's like, get it. We got to move on,
Mhm.
but that's his style.
Yeah.
And that's hard. So what's something else? Like, what do you think's been your biggest light bulb moment, or like your biggest, oh, that's thundering.
Mhm.
What's your biggest, all right, now I'm grooving. Now I'm figuring it out. Now I'm like part of the team. Now I have some confidence. Like, what are some things that have happened along the way to kind of get you to there, you think?
That's a great question, to be honest.
What's been your favorite trip so far?
Pigman, Oklahoma turkeys.
Yeah.
It's probably my favorite, just because there was a lot of shooting going on.
Oh,
It-
yeah,
it
there's a
was
lot of shooting.
It again was cool to be filming somebody that I've grown up watching on,
Yeah.
TV and stuff. Which I don't know, it was just a beautiful place to be, and the
Mhm.
birds were cooperating. And I mean, I think we filmed like 5 turkeys die in 3 days or something.
Can't beat that with a stick.
Oh yeah, it was pretty cool. But yeah, that's probably my favorite trip. But as far as a light bulb moment going off for me, I don't know. It's probably been a long kind of the process of me kind of taking over MSS was kind of my light bulb moment, because again, once we found out that Clay was going to work somewhere else, I kind of had a oh crap moment again of like, geez, like I know that this is a big client. Like,
Mhm.
it's kind of, I don't know nothing about construction
Yeah.
and dirt work and all that. Like,
You do now, though.
oh yeah, I
Yeah.
do. I can talk it with the best of them now. But, that was something really intimidating for me.
Yeah.
But then, after a couple shoots and doing things differently than Clay did them, but for me to just try something different, like let me try to do this my own way, and building that relationship with the guys
Yeah.
out there, but also being able to go out, I shoot for 1, 2, 3 days or whatever, and being able to shoot all of it and bring it back and create something from that, and to see it do well on social media platforms, I was like, okay, like I think I'm kind of like what I'm doing is working, because I'm seeing the numbers of it.
Yeah.
Which
Well,
you can't argue with that.
That, and you really got to take, I mean, pretty much our directive was like, take this and run with it and make
Yeah.
it your own. And I think you've done a really good job of that.
Thank you.
Yeah. What's been your, like, I don't know, like, cause that was really intimidating to me when I first got my big, I guess, quote unquote, baby, when I was at Sub 7, like, hey, this is your project, handle it.
Yeah.
Don't screw it up. Like, what was your, like, when I pretty much told you, like, hey, MSS is about to be your baby, like, don't screw it up.
Yeah. That
Felt-
was it.
That was it. Just
Yeah.
like figure it out.
Yeah, pretty much. But I mean, it helped. I know that we both went out on a shoot one day
Mhm.
of just, you were primarily burning down pictures and I was filming, and then come back from that. And again, being it like going out and doing it, and then building the confidence of, okay, now I know that I can go out there and film and get all the pieces and all the talking and like it be successful. And now I can bring it back and create stuff from it, and basically do the whole process from start to finish, and then building that confidence and stuff.
Well,
Definitely helped.
I think, and it's something I told you and I've told AJ, and it's something that I look for in just people is eagerness and willingness. You are eager to not only learn, but to take on the project, and your willingness to pretty much do whatever needed to be done to make it good. And like for weeks, man, it's pouring.
Mm-hmm.
For weeks, you came into my office and you're like, hey, what do you think about this idea? And you'd send me Instagram videos of something that was like along the same genre, like, hey, what if we try this? And like, I'd say 70% of the original ideas that have come out of MSS in the last 6-8 months have been yours, and they've been like my favorite one, which I told you, my favorite one's the last song. I love that. And, now a Spotify playlist and all that good stuff. I think that that's super cool. And, where do you find inspiration for stuff like that?
I don't know. Ryer kind of asked me a similar question on the last podcast, but for something as far as, I don't know, man, I feel like I definitely spend more time consuming media on social media than I do a streaming platform or
Yeah.
watching a movie or even just, TV in general. And so I feel like I'm just constantly, if I'm consuming media, a lot of times I'm looking for stuff that I like, but then it's almost like picking that apart of like, okay, well, why did I enjoy that video? Okay, I liked it because this, that, the other. Okay, well, now what's a way that I can do something similar to that for MSS, or that I can, ooh, that was a cool transition. Let me see if I can implement that into a Seek One intro or something.
Which is what you're cutting on right now is a big like
a
real
big-
thing.
Yeah, it's almost like a season teaser, kind of just to get people excited for the fall that's coming very, very soon.
Yeah.
But
How's that one been?
it's been all right. It's been a lot of pulling footage. Just it's taken a little bit longer than anticipated because I'm having to go through a full year's worth instead of like here's this one hunt. And
I'm glad you're getting your toes wet. You're about to do that for Cope Creative too.
Yeah, I knew it. Which is fine. I enjoy doing that kind of stuff. But it's coming along. I think that it's gonna be really, really cool. Me and AJ have been kind of spitballing ideas back and forth of how to make it more than just here's
cool stuff.
Yeah, here's cool shots of them killing stuff, basically. Like, what's a different direction that we can take to it to make it more unique than just here's the Seek One guys, boom, 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 dead deer, dead deer, dead deer.
Yeah.
And so I think come the end of it, it's gonna be something cool.
Give me a little taste. What's kind of like? Do we have a theme or a thread yet?
I can't.
Can't.
Nope.
Okay.
It's top secret information.
All right, you'll tell me off podcast.
Yeah.
Okay. So that shows you guys how much like micromanagement I have. I don't even know what the thread is yet. So I trust y'all. You guys are past me like I'm sitting still shooting and editing. So I'm just trying to pull strings and make sure guys have what they need. Trying my best to anyway. So we got some questions that were sent in. We asked for some questions earlier today. Let's read through. I know Devin sent several in. What'd you come up with for questions?
One of them is talking about if you are the only shooter, how do you find that balance between taking pictures and video? So if it's not a 2-man shoot,
one man band and you're shooting video and photo,
right? How do you kind of make that call of, okay, it's time to lay down the video camera for a second and take pictures? Like, where do you make that decision? What's your process like with that?
I guess the background just gives as much context as I can on the question. So 99 times out of 100, we're running photos as like an add-on. We really don't charge for them most of the time. There are rare occasions where we do, or we have specific asks for like, hey, we need to make sure we get this, this, and this, and then we will.
Right.
Most of the time, pictures for us are just for either behind the scenes or for product launches or for specific hunts, grip and grins, things of that nature. So the simplest way to answer that is video always takes priority, always. But even on top of that, story takes priority. So whatever the story is, whether that's something as simple as hunting a specific deer, getting velvet footage, an MSS shoot, whatever that story is, that takes precedent. And once we get, essentially, I go in and I look for the beats of that story, what the beginning, the middle, and the ends are. And when I feel like I've completed a beat or a section or a scene, then I try and go and say, okay, now how can I cover that in images? So it's like a 70-30, 80-20 split video photo for us. Because I make a lot of people mad when I say this, but photos are easy. I mean, photographers are cheating their people out of most of the money a lot of the times, unless you're like a savant like Fafa is in Lightroom and Photoshop, and you really spend time, and like Chris Irwin, who spends an incredible amount of time making an image perfect. But if you're doing like we're doing and you're charging for it, like I don't see how you charge for it. Cause I mean, we just hammer photos and we'll take 1,000 photos and there'll be 10 bangers and 100 usable ones.
Yeah.
And that's how I approach photography. Is I take a lot of pictures. I generally shoot on the 70-200. I shoot at the end of my lens. Like if you want some solid social media photos, I'm good. Now, if you want something that's cover of magazine worthy, like, I mean, I'm sure Ryer and you and stuff are capable of that, but that's a whole different mindset, in my opinion, when you go to take photos. But I focus on the story and video first, try and get my scenes or my beats, try and say, okay, how do I cover that in a handful of images? then I move on to my next one. I kind of view it as blocks. When I complete a block, I backfill my photos, complete a block, I backfill my photos, complete a block, backfill my photos.
Yeah.
I think this leads into another question that he had too. It was about something about, what was his last question?
The last question talks about, let's see, diving into editing.
Yeah.
Where do you start and what do you start with? And basically overcoming feeling overwhelmed before you start a project.
So essentially, Devin's kind of like, he goes out and he shoots and he feels overwhelmed to get into the editing process because there's hundreds of clips and this, that, and the other.
Yeah. Where do you start? It's like, I have all this footage, even if maybe he didn't, well, for this example, we'll say, yeah, he went and shot it and he's like, I know that I just filmed, a week's worth of duck hunts or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I have X amount of terabytes of footage. This is so much crap. Where do I even start? What do I start with?
Well, what we've learned in years and years is we used to say it was 1-to-1, like one camera a day equals one edit day. Like if you were filming for 5 days on Seek One's hunt or whatever, generally it's going to take 5 days to edit that. What we figured out now that our production values went up, our sound design has gotten better, color correction has gotten better. It's about 1.5. So if you shoot for 5 days, it's going to take around 8 days, 8.5 days to edit that.
Yeah.
That's kind of what we've started to budget, just because to do it to the quality and the standard that we want, that's how long it takes. But to answer Devin's question, that comes down, in my opinion, to the planning beforehand. Because when I'm out shooting, and you can answer this in your own words too, but when I'm shooting, I'm not just shooting. Yeah. I'm not just what I call vomiting through the camera and just filming everything.
Spraying and praying.
That's why editing, that's why I'm really, really glad that we got AJ editing before he started shooting.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's going to make him that much better, more efficient of a shooter. I mean, I bet my shooting went down 30 to 40% when I become a proficient editor, because now I'm editing it in my head as I'm shooting.
Yeah.
So that edit goes together so much quicker because I know I want to start here. This is the first shot. I'm using this establishing shot to get me to here. It's going to get me to this interview. It's going to get me to this encounter. It's going to get me to this stalk. It's going to get me to this kill. It's going to get me to this grip and grand. That's going to get me to the out. Yep. I've done that in my head as I'm shooting. I've shot the beginning, the middle, and the end, those beats I was talking about. I shot my transition shots between those beats. And then I use those in between, not a whole lot going on, or I see the lights right, to get my pretties, to get my B-roll, to get my, the shots that really are very visually appealing.
Yeah.
But the focus has got to be on the plan, the process, and the story, and then fill in those scenes, beginning, middle, and end of the whole story, and beginning and middle and end of each beat or each scene.
Yeah.
And if you essentially check those boxes, not necessarily check boxes, but if you do a good job of managing that story in your head, or take notes, or whatever it takes to do it, to me, the edit should put itself together. Like I always, and I've said this before, I can't stand editing something I didn't shoot. When I shot it, it goes together like 10 times easier because I know what I got.
Yeah.
And there's very little that hits the cutting room floor, because if I don't need it, I don't shoot it. Like there's no sense in wasting the server space. There's no sense in wasting the hard drive space. Like I don't need a 10-minute clip of a deer walking in the field. I just don't need it. And if there's something that needs to happen that I have to wait on forever, well, now we have Cash Record for that now.
Yep.
So that just simplifies the story. So like, what would be your advice?
Yeah. No, I mean, I definitely agree with you. And that was the first thing that kind of my initial thoughts is, it definitely comes down to the plan going into it, but while producing it, and I guess that's kind of my circle way back to your light bulb moment question, is going on a shoot and not just filming, but producing something. And then as I'm shooting and producing, the edit is coming together in my head and then coming back. and actually creating that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of like, I did that, like this
Yeah.
is how I thought of it in the moment, and it worked.
Yeah.
And that was kind of my light bulb moment of like, okay, like I can do this.
Yeah. Well, that's the difference when we talk about it in all our classes, which I've had a bunch of people ask about classes. We're working on it. I don't know if we're going to be able to do one this summer, but I'd love to. But that's something we talk about in classes all the time, is the difference between a cameraman and a producer. A monkey can be a cameraman. You can hand a monkey a camera and point it in the right direction. That's a cameraman. A producer is somebody who takes their tools, takes their talent, takes their situation, their story, and tries to get the most out of it.
Mm-hmm.
They get you from A to B. They get you from day to day, from week to week, from month to month. They explain the difference in time. They explain the location. They explain what's going on. And, like we tell in classes, you assume your viewer is stupid. As a producer, you have to do the same thing. You have to assume, just because I'm standing next to a planted pines yelping for turkeys, they don't know I'm in Georgia. I have to tell them. They don't know it's April the 10th and turkeys are gobbling and on fire. They don't understand that it's 6:00 in the morning. Like, we got to tell them all these things, even though there's context clues for those things. We have to tell them. And then as a producer, you have to take that information. You've got to not only tell me, but you got to show me.
Yep.
And I would rather you show me than to tell me. And I think if you go in there with that mindset of, all right, how do I tell the story of this deer hunt or this turkey hunt? And then how do I get from this location to this location, from this day to this day? Visually. Well, visually, how do we get from day to day? How do we say a day's ending visually? A shot of the moon, a shot of a starry sky, a night lapse, a truck driving by with lights on. Like, there's a million different ways to show the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
How do we show the beginning of the day? Same way, a sun coming up, birds chirping. There's a million different ways that bring you into that story. And then, all right, well, how do we get from the field to the house? An establishing shot of the outside of the house. Boom, we're there.
Yeah.
One shot gets me there. Study good films, study good shows, study good narrative, things that have really good dialogue and pace, and they'll show you how to get from one place to the next. It's not hard. We do it every day. We see it every day, but it doesn't register unless you pay attention, I guess.
Yeah. And that's something that I've definitely noticed a change in since I've started working here, is picking up on that stuff a lot more. Like, my girlfriend watches Yellowstone a lot, and we were watching it when she was up here a couple weeks ago, and just going through it with more of a producer mindset as opposed to just a viewer. And it was kind of like, okay, like, yeah, I see what you did there, or, ooh, that's a cool establishing shot, as opposed to just like, oh, it's pretty.
Yeah. Well, then not only that, but like how you can use camera movement to your advantage.
Oh yeah.
What camera movement tells the viewer, what framing tells the viewer, what a shot on a tripod versus a handheld versus a jib versus a drone. Like, they all elicit an emotion if you know how to use them correctly. And if you're just like 95% of these freaking YouTube shows running around with a GoPro, will that tell a story? I guess not one that I want to watch, but I guess there's a bunch of people that want to watch it, and I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying it's lazy. I think that there's a way to do it. Like Lee Ellis did it in that long film that we just did, that 2.5 hour deal.
Yeah.
He self-filmed the majority of that, but he did a really good job of getting you from here to here and here to here and here to here, and transition shots and other angles and things that he didn't have to do, but he did. And it made that piece that much better. It takes time and it's hard. To do it by yourself, it's hard. That's why I don't do it by myself. That's why I don't self-film. That's why it's always a shooter and a talent. Always, just because the product we're going for, could it be attained self-filming? Yeah, but good God, it'd take forever. And it would be a gigantic pain in the butt.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that gets rough doing the self-filming stuff, which I did a pretty decent amount of self-filming my last couple years of high school, and while I was in college, self-filming hunts and stuff. And again, I thought I knew what I was doing. I was filming on like a Canon camcorder. Quarter. And it's definitely tough to do it by yourself, as far as, okay, you don't just want a shot of you walking to the truck or whatever,
Yeah.
just your feet. Okay, well, you have to run up in front of you 20 yards and set your tripod up towards you and then walk back again, make sure it's recording, and then have that forward, get your feet walking, and then go set it over to the side. Okay, now you have to climb up to your shooting house and film down the ladder. You climb down the ladder and then go back up. Like, it's definitely hard, which that is one of his questions, is talking about, let's see, where'd it go? Talking about being a solo content creator. Whenever you don't have a camera guy there to get the right angles and such. And he kind of talks about, being on like a self timer as opposed to using a wireless remote to take, I'm assuming primarily for pictures.
Yeah.
To do stuff for branded content and whatnot. But yeah, the self filming stuff is tough.
Yeah,
for sure.
Well, and I don't want to discourage anybody that's listening that wants to self film. Like, I don't do it and we don't do it because we can't create the piece of content that we want to the quality and to the standard we want self filming.
Yeah.
Not in a timely fashion. If you're just wanting to film your own hunts and you're just wanting to get something and you're not trying to tell a story or make a documentary or film a series, by all means, you do you.
Yeah.
I don't want anybody to feel like that, we're saying don't do it. Cause like, I'm all for it. Go do it. You're not going to catch me doing it is what I'm saying. Because it's incredibly hard to do it at a quality. Like, the best guy I know that does it, other than Lee Ellis, would be Casey Shootman. A really good friend of mine, professional trapper, kills a bunch of giants every year. And he self-films all of them. I think Casey does it because he's such a good hunter. He doesn't want anybody screwing up his hunt. But it's one of those things to where he does a really good job of telling a complete story on a hunt too. But, again, the goal of our content can't be attained solo filming.
Yeah.
Now, if you're just trying to create content for brands, my advice would be like, okay, well, if you're just doing selfie pictures and selfie video, find a way to differentiate yourself. Figure out something they're not doing. And maybe that's going the extra mile with different angles and multiple cameras, or hiring a, camera guy, or teaching a buddy or a brother how to do it long enough to where it is better. It's different, at least,
Yeah.
I don't know the exact, I think you got to think outside the box. I know a lot of people have told me, well, everything's been done. It hasn't been done. Not everything's been done. There's a lot of other things to do, but there's content out there that people watch that I don't understand how they watch. Like my little boy loves KG.
Yeah.
Loves him.
Gray.
Oh my gosh, he loves him.
He's a little gray gangster.
Oh my gosh, I can't. Like, I think he's like killing it for the kids that age. I can't watch the content. Can't do it. And he'll turn it on and my son, I can't watch this. I love you and I understand. And I like this guy for you, but not for me. But I feel that way about 80% hunting content out there.
Yeah.
Which I'm also incredibly jaded. I come from a whole different generation. You guys have made that very clear to me. But I don't know. I just have a higher standard for what I want to watch, and for what I want to produce and what I want to come out of this office.
Yeah.
But there's obviously a place for it. I mean, YouTube's full of it, but if YouTube's full of it, that means there's a lot of people that are trying to do it. And if you're trying to do it and take over somebody else, you got to figure out a better way to reinvent the wheel. You got to offer something that other people aren't offering.
Yeah.
Go the extra mile or whatever. If you're just walking around with a cell phone talking to yourself, you better have something very special on the other end of that phone. Otherwise, why am I watching? But cell phones will be the bane of my existence and all content creators' existence that want to do high quality stuff forever.
Yeah. And that's something that has grown to be one of my least favorite things to hear since I've been working here. Is, people saying, "Oh, a phone can do just as well as that."
Jesus Christ! I want to slap people when I hear that.
Yeah, and yeah, oh, it shoots in 8K or 4K, and it can do this,
sure
that,
does.
the other. And
but then you start talking about bit rates and frame rates and lenses and depth of field and things like that, and they're like, "What's all that?"
Yep.
That's the thing that a lot of people don't understand. That it took me a long time to, I guess, understand is that's half our battle is educating the general public as to why it costs so much to hire us.
Oh yeah.
When they think they can do it with a cell phone. It's like, Can you do it with a cell phone? You 100% can.
Yeah.
And I almost want to go film a project for somebody on a cell phone and then do it with a real camera and show them the difference. Like that actually would be a really fun project to do.
Yeah.
Like go do a 30-second commercial with a phone and then do it simultaneously, like literally strap a phone to the top of the camera
Yeah.
and film it on the camera, just roll them both and literally splice the cuts together and show the difference. That actually would be a really cool project. We should do that.
Yeah. I like that.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm sure you've seen their Apple commercials and they say like shot on iPhone 15 or whatever. And I think that a lot of people have seen those
Yeah.
in either on TV or YouTube or whatever. And that has kind of created
Yeah.
that opinion in
Yeah.
a lot of people.
Yeah.
But I mean, I even see a big difference in the FX6 as opposed to the A7 III.
Yeah.
You know, just like I'm at a point now where I can watch and edit and I can be like, yeah, that was shot on a mirrorless as opposed to
Yeah.
cinema camera.
When you do it all day, every day, it starts to be glaringly obvious
Yeah.
I mean, you can even tell the difference in lenses.
Oh yeah.
Like you run that 24-105, then you put that 24-240 next to it, you're like, ugh, lenses are crap.
Yeah.
But you need the focal length when you're doing run and gun hunts, and does it get the job done? It gets the job done. But like Joe hates that lens,
The 24-240.
Yeah. Hates it.
Hmm.
He hates that lens so much.
Yeah. I haven't grown to hate it. I wouldn't say. I don't know. I like how much of a utility lens it is.
Yeah.
I like it, but I don't know.
But again, with the utility lens, you're going to give something up, and what you give up with that one's clarity and speed.
Yeah.
It's just not a very fast lens, and it's not that sharp. It's sharp enough, for YouTube and TV. Yeah, it's fine. But if you want to put it on a big screen, it's not there. I mean, you run it side by side with that Cine glass at the same focal length and the same lighting conditions. I mean, we're not comparing apples to apples.
Yeah.
But that one lens is $1,000. That lens is $5,000. There's a big dang difference when you start talking like that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So, what other do we have any other questions? Is that the only questions we had from Devin?
Yeah, I think it's just those three.
Let me see if we've gotten any new ones. I don't know if we have. We only asked like 3 minutes ago. Oh, the new Bergara reel that we did
Oh yeah.
just launched that Chris edited. Put that one up. Oh, got one on my thing. Hold on. Let me see if this is a question or one of my buddies sending me some stupid messages from one of my buddies. Yeah. Well, what else? What else you got?
We got the fall coming up.
Yeah. Be here before you know it.
For sure, which I'm looking forward to some cooler weather. Dude, it has been hellacious.
Yeah.
How hot it is.
Oh, it ain't got bad yet. August is worse. Don't get this bad in Birmingham?
I'm from Montgomery. Don't put Birmingham
sorry.
on me.
So what is it not this bad in Montgomery?
It gets pretty bad. I feel the heat is just different. Like, I don't know. I don't even really know.
Think it's worse? You think it's worse here?
Maybe. I don't know, dude. I don't know. I feel like this heat like bakes you. Like you walk outside and you're in a microwave.
It's like the devil wants you to go home. It is. It's like you walk outside and the devil wants you. He's like, I'm here. And his presence is ever present around you.
Yeah, I reckon.
Yeah, it's miserable.
Jeez.
I tell people that's why I don't go to the beach, because there's a reason that hell is hot. And then it's hot, and it's hot as hell here too. So it's like you can't escape it.
Yeah.
But dude, I mean, we went camping a couple years ago and we were in Missouri, 4th of July week. Bro, that's the hottest I've ever been. Actually, the hottest I've ever been was in Iowa.
Really?
With Lee and Tiff, yeah. Bro.
What were y'all chasing?
No, we were filming like summer setup.
Oh.
And we had the drone hovering above us just to give us some relief, man. It was stagnant. There was no wind whatsoever. Thomas was there. It was me, Thomas, Clay. Me, Thomas, and Clay. It was, bro, it was bad.
Yeah, that's rough.
Oh, it was so bad.
Yeah. Do you think that it's going to be blistering hot in Oklahoma for us this year?
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, it'll probably be pretty hot. Yeah, well, I don't know what the elevation is, but I bet it'll be pretty warm. But that's first week of October.
It might be cooling down.
It might be
A little
manageable.
bit.
Might be manageable. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm super pumped about that though.
Yeah, I've never chased elk in Oklahoma. That'll be fun.
Sweet.
Well, so here's a question. So what was your impression of Pigman?
Pigman is exactly exactly the same person off camera as he is on camera.
I tell people he's toned down on camera. To me, he's even
Yeah.
wilder off camera. Like he has to dial it back to PG-13
Yeah.
on camera.
Well, I mean, dude, he's full throttle.
Oh my gosh,
I mean, 100% of the time. It don't matter if he's just telling you.
he's all go, no whoa.
Well, I mean, dude, even like when Ryer and I were in Oklahoma, it was something simple as far as like something simple. Yeah, man, the forks are in the kitchen drawer right here to the left, and just just go and go. It's like, dude, he does not slow down.
No, he don't.
But I did like Pigman though.
But that's-
he's funny to be around.
He doesn't slow down, but he'll take him a midday nap. He's gonna have a little reset. He's like, all right, Head, I'm gonna go take me a nap. See you in an hour. And I'm like, okay, Big, I'm down.
Yeah.
I'm down with that.
Yeah.
I'll go move footage and back up everything while you're taking a nap. And he'd get up and he'd be right
Ready to
out and
go.
bushy tailed again. He's ready to go. He don't want to wait on nobody either, which I don't blame him. I hate waiting on people too. I'm the exact same way. So I guess that's why me and him, and he's such a good communicator.
Mhm.
Like he's one of the best ones we have. And he's just all business. And I love that. I love the fact that he's black and white. He's all business. It's like him or hate him. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to him. He's going to be him. And I love that about somebody who's that confident, who's that good of a communicator, who's just about business. And, that there's no gray area, which I love that about him.
Yeah.
But he's just like, I could definitely see why some people wouldn't like that.
Mhm.
But those are people that aren't very confident in themselves, I think.
Yeah.
There ain't nobody more confident than Pig. Like, he's a confident sucker. Which I love that. I love that about him.
Yeah.
He told me some stories, man. God, dog. I told him, I was like, the fact that you don't have a stand-up bit or a podcast is ridiculous. He's like, I'd get fired, Ed. I'd get fired by everybody. And I'm like, he told a story about when he used to work and he used to run heavy machinery and he used to sell used cars. And I'm like, I want to do a bit for somebody like one of your segment spots about you running a big backhoe or trackhoe or a dozer and you selling used cars. Cause like, yeah, I can 100% see Big Man selling used cars.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I bet you sold a bunch of them,
Oh,
too.
I guarantee he did. Good God. All right. That's all I got. Peace, guys.